Welcome back to my page. Thank you for joining me again today. We're going to begin in a comfortable seated position, so whatever that looks like for you is fine. We're going to take a couple of minutes just to drop in here, so come down to the mat when you're ready. Maybe bring your palms together at the heart. Take a second just to drop in, start noticing what you feel. If you're practicing in the morning, it's a great time to spend some quiet time meditating, especially if you can do so outside before the sun comes up. We're going to enjoy the sunrise together and some mindful movement here. Maybe take this time to set an intention for your practice and for your day. Think about what your priorities are. Start to quiet the mind. Notice what's happening in the body. Notice what you feel, what you hear. Take another couple of moments just to get grounded. Once you've settled in and you feel grounded, you can open up the palms, maybe rest them gently on the lap, maybe take a little mudra here, just connecting index finger with the thumbs, feeling that energy flow. And we're going to start with some very gentle, small neck rotations, just drawing small circles with the nose, getting gradually wider and wider, listening to your body, giving it what it needs. Feel free to find any easy movement in the head and neck that feels good for you. You can reverse those circles if you'd like. You can drop the chin to the chest and just trace along a little crescent moon shape, stretching through the back of the neck, deepening the breath. Take your time just continuing to connect with the breath, continuing to find that easy movement in the head and neck. Take your time to do a little exploration here, maybe drawing a line with the nose, straight up and down or left to right. And then when you're ready, we'll start with a little shoulder rotations, lifting up on your inhale, maybe squeezing and holding at the top, rolling the shoulders back, bringing the scapula together on your exhale, syncing up with the breath. Again, just starting to notice what you feel in your body today, starting to feel connected to the mat and to your body and to the breath. Try to clear your mind, try to settle yourself. Just concentrate on the movement. We're going to send the arms out left to right. Bring them in, wrap them all the way around the chest, walk the fingertips in together on the back. On your inhale, lift up. Exhale, curl inward, relax the head and neck. Nice elongation through the spine. We'll take about 5 to 7 cycles of breath here. Just listen to the sound of your breath. Breathe deep. And as we slowly curl up to switch arms, maybe think about setting an intention for your practice or for your day. Open up the arms wide, opposite arm underneath. Give yourself a big embrace. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, curl inward, letting it all go. I encourage you to envision exhaling whatever is stressing you, whatever is distracting you, and leaving it here on the mat today. Just enjoy the sensation of your own embrace as you slowly deepen the breath and curl upward. Unravel the arms, maybe take a little stretch before setting them all the way up and overhead. We're going to grab that left wrist with the right arm and give a little side body stretch to the right. When you feel good about it, release the hands. We're going to do a little torso twist on the right, bracing yourself with the left hand on the right knee, right hand behind you. Sit up, lift, and twist, nice and open through the chest. Check out that beautiful sunrise. We'll come back through center, send the arms up and overhead, this time side bend on the other side, before melting downward for that torso twist on the left, nice and open through the chest. When you've got what you need there, come back through center. We'll come forward onto all fours for tabletop, palms under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And then send the knees wide, big toes come into touch. We're going to send the hips back, melt the head and heart down for your extended child's pose. Reach those fingertips away from the body. And then bring palms together, bend at the elbows, prayer hands behind the head for a little added triceps stretch. When you're ready, we'll slowly extend the elbows, coming back to your extended child's pose, and then press into the fingertips to walk them off to the left side of your mat. Melt the head and heart down. Melt into that. Notice what you feel. Keep breathing deep, especially into that right hip. Notice that natural rhythm of the breath and try to imagine waves crashing on the beach to that same rhythm. Bring your awareness back to the fingertips and we will walk the hands off to the right side of the mat. Same thing over here. Melt the head and heart down. Sync up with the breath. Breathing deep into that left hip. Maybe walking those left fingertips a little further away from the body. Once again, bringing your awareness back to the fingertips, we'll walk back through center and come back up to tabletop. From here, we're just going to draw some big circles with the hips, sending the hips to the left, backward, around to the right, back up toward the top edge of your mat Find what feels good. Feel free to reverse that circle if you want to try the same thing in the opposite direction. Continue deepening the breath and noticing what you feel. And then when you're ready, we're going to melt it all the way forward onto the belly, coming down to the forearms for Sphinx pose. Open up through the chest, lift the gaze, uncurl the toes, look over your right shoulder at your right foot, and then same thing on the other side. Look over your left shoulder at your left foot. Then when we come back through center, we're going to set up that right arm at 90 degrees on your right side. We're going to roll onto the right side body, stacking the hips, the knees, the ankles. Draw that left palm in toward the chest and use it to gently press into the mat, opening up through that right side chest. If you need a little more intensity in this stretch, feel free to lift that left foot off of the stack and set it on the ground behind you, pressing open through the chest, not forcing it, just finding what you need. Honor what the body is asking for here. We'll take one more deep cycle of breath before extending the legs out long, coming back through center and setting up on the other side. Left elbow comes to 90 degrees to the left. Stack on the left side body. Right palm gently presses into the mat, opening up through that left side chest. And maybe you lift that top leg and set your foot behind you on the ground for a little more intensity. Again, not forcing. Nice and gentle here, just a couple more deep cycles of breath. Extend the legs out long, we'll come back through center. This time, press up to plank, nice and strong. Bring the knees down to the mat for a tabletop pose. From here, we're going to draw some circles with that right knee, just opening up through that right hip. After a couple more rotations there, we'll bring that right foot to the outside edge of the right hand, uncurl the back toes, come up onto the palms, and then you're going to use your right hand to press into the inside of that right knee, pressing it away from the body, opening up even further through that right hip. Again, nice and gentle, not forcing, just finding what you need. Bring your gaze back down to the mat. When you're ready, gently release that right hand, and we are going to heel toe, that right foot inward. Get comfortable there, frame that right foot, and then extend through that right knee for your half splits. Relax the head and neck. Palms stay on the mat, somewhere near the ankle. Generous bend in that right knee if you need it. Deepening the breath, remembering your intention, letting the body know it's okay to relax. When you're ready, we'll bend through that right knee, come back to the sole of that right foot. From here, we're going to plant the left palm, open up through the right side chest, right hand moves toward the sky for a little easy twist. Melt it back down, send that right foot back, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So from tabletop, we'll start drawing some big circles with that left knee, just listening to your body, starting to open up through that left hip. On your next time around, bring that left foot to the outside edge of the left hand, toes spill off the mat, Right palm stays planted. Left palm presses into the inside edge of that left knee, pressing that knee away from the body. Again, nice and gentle, not forcing it, just opening up through that left hip. Bring your gaze back down to the mat before heel toeing that left foot back in toward the center of the mat, wherever is comfortable for you. Frame that foot with both hands. Extend through the left knee. Relax the head and neck. Half splits on the other side. Deepening the breath, letting your body know it's okay to relax. Maintain that positive inner dialogue. Take another couple of breaths here. Remember your intention as you generously bend that knee. Keep the right palm planted. Open up for an easy twist on the other side. Left hand toward the sky. Nice and open through the chest. Breathe deep. Melt the left hand back down. Frame that left foot. Send it back for tabletop. Curl the toes under. Send the hips up high and back for downward dog. Pedal through the feet if it feels good, or find stillness here. Take a second just to catch your breath. From here, we'll gently step one foot in front of the other, walking all the way up to the top edge of the mat. Plant the feet about hip width apart. Standing forward fold. Feel free to clasp opposite elbows. Find a gentle sway left to right. Deepening the breath. Noticing what you feel. Take your time in this standing forward fold, and when you're ready, you can release both hands to the mat. From there, we are going to slide the left foot behind the right toward the right edge of the mat, and then we're going to just walk the hands off to the right. Working toward full extension in that left leg, but again, honor the body. Wherever you are today is totally fine. Embrace and observe that. No judgment. Take one more cycle of breath here, and then we're going to gently, mindfully walk the fingertips back through center, recenter the legs, and do the same thing on the other side. Right foot slides behind the left into the left edge of the mat. Walk the hands off to the left, working toward full extension in that right knee, but honoring the body, deepening the breath, remembering your intention. Take one more cycle of breath before walking the hands back through center, resetting the feet. From there, we'll find a nice flat back with your halfway lift. Maybe palms come together at the heart or the front of the thighs. Nice long extension through the spine. Melt it back down. This time we're going to curl all the way up. Palms come up and overhead. And then together at the heart. Take a second here. Close your eyes if it feels good. Deepen the breath. Release the palms. Palms come up. Melt it all the way back down. Set the palms on the mat. Step one foot back, then the other. Slowly lower to the belly, press up for your first cobra of the day, melt it back down, press up to plank, and send it back for a downward dog. Again, you can pedal through the feet if you need to. Find what feels good here. Clean the grass off your mat, fix your hair, do what you do. Take another cycle of breath before walking all the way up to the top edge of your mat. Once again, feet are hip width apart. From here, we'll find a little stability and balance. We're going to lift that left leg up high, square the hips by pointing the toes toward the right edge of your mat. And if you're able, we're going to gently lift both hands, maybe bring them to the back of the leg, or you can just keep your fingertips on the mat for balance. Find your focus, find your strength, pressing into all four corners of the foot, and then slowly releasing. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So find your focal point, plant that left foot, lift the right leg up high, point those toes toward the left edge of your mat to square the hips, and then maybe lift the palms, bring them to the back of the calf, find your balance, quiet the mind, and gently release. Fingertips trace along the front edge of the body as you halfway lift, maybe prayer hands at the heart or arms extended behind you. Melt it back down, trace the fingers along the front edge of the body, all the way up and overhead. Palms come together. Slice it all the way down. Plant the palms, send one foot back, then the other. Slowly lower, press up to cobra, melt it back down, and send the hips up high and back, downward facing dog. Once again, feel free to pedal it out or find stillness, whatever feels good. When you're ready, plant that left foot, kick the right leg up high, really reaching. Lift the gaze. We're going to bring that right knee all the way up and through, plant that right foot. Lead with the fingertips, bringing them all the way up to your high lunge. Plant that left foot, come to the inside edge. We're going to open up to the left for your warrior two. Arms go left to right. Drop that left hand to the back leg. Right arm comes up and over, peaceful warrior. Bring it back down to frame that right foot. Center yourself. Left palm stays planted. Right hand comes up for an easy twist. Melt it back down. Plant the palms, send the right foot back. Slowly lower to the belly, find your cobra or upward dog. Melt it back down. Press up to plank and downward dog. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Take your time. When you're ready, we'll plant that right leg. Kick that left leg up really high. Lift the gaze. Bring that knee all the way up and through, plant that foot, frame it with both hands, leading with the fingertips, come up to your high lunge, and then open up to the other side, warrior two. Same thing, drop that back hand, front hand comes up and over, peaceful warrior, and then melt it back down to frame that foot. Keep the right palm planted, left palm toward the sky, melt it back down again. Send that foot back, slowly lower to the belly, press up for cobra or upward facing dog. Melt it back down, curl the toes under, press up to plank, and send the hips up high and back. Maybe this time find stillness. Bring it back through center. When you're ready, find your balance. Lift that left palm, bring it to the outside edge of the right calf. Same thing on this side. Big stretch here. Nice and gentle. Release that when you're ready. And once again, we'll walk all the way up, one step at a time, to your standing forward fold. Find a gentle sway in that forward fold or plant the left foot, lift that right leg up high, square off the hips, and we'll find that balance practice one more time. Pressing into all four corners of the foot, find a focal point, stay synced up with the breath. If you fall out of it, that's okay. Just try again. When you're ready, gently, mindfully bring that foot back down to the mat. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Plant the right leg. Kick the left leg up, square through the hips. Maybe bring your hands to the back of that calf or keep them planted on the mat. Find your focal point, find your balance. Nice and mindful as you come out of that. We'll come back to that standing forward fold and then halfway lift. Any arm variation. Melt it back down. This time trace the fingers along the front edge of the body all the way up and overhead. Use that right hand to grab the left wrist, pull up and over. And then again, we'll slide that left foot behind the right to the right edge of your mat. Find a little side bend on this side. Release when ready. We'll take it to the other side. Right foot comes behind the left toward the left edge of the mat. Side bend on the left. And then gently, mindfully release. Bring the palms together at the heart. Take a second. Close your eyes if it feels good. Catch your breath. When you're ready, we'll release and melt it all the way back down. Standing forward fold. Plant the palms. Send one foot back, then the other. Slowly melt it down to the belly. Press up to cobra, melt it back down to the mat. Curl the toes under and press up to plank, and then send the hips up high, downward dog. Take a moment here, find stillness or pedal through the feet, whichever you prefer. Remember your intention and check in with that positive inner dialogue. When you're ready, we'll plant that left foot, kick that right leg up really high, really reaching. Lift the gaze, bend that knee, bring that right foot all the way up and through, plant it near the top edge of your mat. Lead with the fingertips coming all the way up to your high lunge, opening up to the left for a big warrior two. Left hand comes to the left thigh, right hand comes up and over, peaceful warrior, then extend through that right knee. Leading with the right fingertips, shift the torso forward, right hand comes down to the mat, left hand goes up toward the sky, not collapsing here, supporting yourself with the abdominals, staying nice and open through the chest. Shift your gaze back down to the mat, bring that left hand all the way back down to the mat, frame that right foot, send it back for plank, slowly lower to the belly, you know what to do, find your cobra or upward dog, and melt it back down. Press back up to plank, send the hips up high, downward facing dog, we'll do the same sequence on the other side. When you're ready, lift the gaze, plant that right foot, kick that left leg up high, really reaching, really extending, lift the gaze again, bending that left knee, bringing that left foot all the way up and through, framing it with both hands. Lead with the fingertips, high lunge, opening up for warrior two, dropping that right hand, peaceful warrior. Extend through that left knee, bring the arms perpendicular to the ground. Lead with the fingertips, bringing that left hand to the inside edge of the left foot, sending the hips back, not collapsing through the torso, nice and open through the chest. Right hand toward the sky, breathing deep. Shift your gaze back to the mat. Bring the hands down to frame that foot. Send the foot back, slowly melting down to the belly. Press up to cobra, melt it back down. And this time we will meet in a traditional child's pose. Knees come together toward the middle of the mat. Send the hips back. Send the hands behind you. Sometimes I like to massage the feet here or just open up the palms toward the sky. Take this time just to deepen the breath. Remember your intention. Relax in the pose. When you're ready, slowly come back to tabletop, center yourself on the mat, and once again we will meet in downward facing dog. Once you get there, take your time. You're going to plant that left foot. And one more time, kick that right leg up high, three-legged dog. This time when you bend the right knee, bring it to the right elbow. Extend it back for three-legged dog. Bend again, bring it to the left elbow. Extend it to three-legged dog. Lift the gaze, bring that foot all the way up and through, leading with the fingertips to your high lunge, opening up for warrior two, dropping it back for peaceful warrior. And from here, we're going to interlace the fingertips behind the back, draw them downward toward the mat, and then you're going to bend toward the inside edge of that right leg as you lift the interlaced fingertips away from the body. Humble warrior. Stay positive, stay humble, and gently release the hands. Frame that right foot. Send it back to plank. You know what to do. Slowly lower. Find your cobra. Stay synced up with the breath. Press back up to plank. Send the hips up high and back. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Plant that right foot. Kick the left leg up high. Three-legged dog. Bring that left knee to the left elbow. Send it back up. Left knee comes to right elbow. Send it back up one more time. Lift the gaze. Bring that foot all the way up and through. Frame it with the hands. Coming up to your high lunge. Warrior two. Peaceful warrior. And then from here, coming back through center. Arms come behind the back. Interlace the fingertips and draw them away from the body as you bend at the hips. Melt down toward the inside edge of that left leg, remembering your intention. Bring your gaze to that left foot before gently, mindfully releasing the hands. Reframe it, send it back, find your cobra. Melt it back down. This time we'll press up to tabletop. And then cross at the ankles, guide yourself backward, extend the legs out long. We're going to send the arms up and overhead to find a gentle seated forward fold. Feel free to keep a generous bend in the knees. Melt it downward, hands go beyond the feet or maybe just near the ankles or calves. Honoring wherever you are in the body today, take this time just to turn inward. Breathe deep and remember your intention. Give yourself this time. Just let the body know it's okay to relax. Let the mind know it's okay to relax. Try to let something go. Leave something here on the mat. Come back to your awareness. We're going to slowly plant the sits bones, plant the tailbone, come up to sitting, keep the legs out long, and we're going to come all the way back to lying. From here, we'll bring the soles of the feet in toward the body, knees are bent, and then we're gently just gonna let the knees fall to the left and to the right. Moving through that a couple of times, noticing what you feel. And then we'll take another moment of stillness for meditation here. We're gonna bring the right hand to the lower belly, left hand to the heart, and just let the knees collapse inward. Feet are as wide as the yoga mat. Take a couple more cycles of breath. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, open the knees wide, and gently, if it feels good, rest the palms on the inside edge of the thighs, just letting the weight of gravity open up through the hips. When you're ready, bring your hands to the outside of both thighs, guide them back in together. From here, we're going to take the right leg, cross it completely over the left, shift the hips to the right a bit, and then let the legs fall to the left. You can open up the arms left to right if it helps you balance. Try to keep the backs of the shoulders toward the mat, finding that little torso twist and a gentle stretch through the glutes. And then we'll slowly unravel to take it to the other side. So reset, left leg comes over the right, shift the hips to the left, and gently melt the legs down to your right. Unravel whenever you're ready, bringing the soles of the feet to the mat, and then finally sending the legs out long. We'll spend a little time in Savasana, corpse pose, opening the palms up toward the sky, staying nice and open through the chest. We'll take a few minutes here just to deepen the breath. Melting into your yoga mat, enjoying the endorphins of your practice, reflecting on the intention for your practice. And if it feels good, bring the palms together to rest gently at the third eye. We're going to continue for a couple of minutes. I'll give you this time just for quiet meditation. I encourage you to give yourself another 5 to 10 minutes if you have it, just to deepen your meditation practice, deepen the breath. But in case you have to go, I like to always take this time just to recognize that for some cultures, yoga is a spiritual practice. So first and foremost, we respect and honor that. But for all of us, yoga is a community. Thank you so much for being part of my community today. I hope you feel great about what you've given yourself here. And I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.